Hey guys, welcome aboard the Just Time Now Shit with your host Santi. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time is coming at y'all. Enjoy this energy, take part in this atmosphere. Now we all in the same boat. We can start the conversation. Did y'all see Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance? The Lords of the Crystal? Oh yeah, it's all those titles in one. I watched it. It took me 3 days to go through it, but I did it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love that I love the puppetry mixed with the CGI at the moments, like when they're running, and then you see they back, and then it's like CGI and go right to the face, and like. I put some pictures up here while I tie on this. But this was a movie that came out in the 80s, if y'all didn't know, and they remade it on Netflix into a movie series, and this takes place before the actual movie. So it shows us how the Xerxes got their reign of power. We see Mother Agatha, and we see the different beings that live on the planet of Thra. So it was it was a lot of ins and outs, a lot of lessons. There was a lot of things in there that they just wanted to show through storytelling. And boy did they did. So I want to tie on that. Oh, that was tight. That was the hunter right there. He was their bread and butter, the most fiercest of them all. But yeah, some of the cool things while watching it. Um, I got the sense of, like, the hero's journey. They got the hero's journey in there, coming from nothing and then rising up in the ranks and finding out a truth and things like that. Because he finds out a truth about these Xerxes creatures that they're used want to use the gremlins to power this the crystal, that in the crystal is the lifeblood of the planet, so to speak. So they got this crystal from Mother Agatha. Mother Agatha is Thraw. She was the planet, and she's real cool because they show how she just be looking for like random, you would say dice, or I'm just using my examples, like whatever's around you. She would know that was Thraw talking to her. That was another thing talking to her through the things that was randomly around her. She's with the synchronicities all day. But she got a little confused up because she wanted to travel. Let's see, they got a picture right here. Because she wanted to travel the stars. That's all. That's what she wanted to do. There she go. There go Agatha right there with the triangle of her eye. She wanted to travel the stars. There she go. And why she wanted that so desperately that she was willing to leave her command post to these alien creatures, that the Xerxes, because they come from another planet, and they rule over the whole premises of the stories. That they rule over the Thraw, all the inhabitants of Thraw. That's what I want to say. And they're gods. They're like, they get offerings from the people like once or a couple times a month, it seemed like. And the people say that the Xerxes have the ultimate law, like the ultimate wisdom on how things should do, because the Xerxes provided Argatha with a way to travel the stars to do her dream, and in turn they gave the Griffins, it's going out of my head now. The G's, they gave them they gave them bread, butter, dance, music. They gave them everything that they needed to survive on Thra, in order to sustain themselves, in order to maintain the sense a sense of happiness and content, even though they weren't united anymore. Like everybody was separate. It was some beings that lived underground. It was some beings that lived above ground. It was some that lived in the trees. Like they had different ones that was on wisdom. The podlings was like the servants. They was used for servants a lot by the Skeksis and other people. But you see how like they like to drink and stuff a lot. They just like to party. They was real free spirited. But they was down for their homies. They was down. The Podlings is always down for the homies. And they riding. Let's put it like that. But yeah, here goes the main character right here, and here goes the girl. We got Deet, Bira, and Rain. That's the main character guy, Rain. He witnesses. There go the crystal right there, if y'all can see it. Woo woo. Where's the camera? Right there, right there. That's the crystal right there that they surround themselves down. And I like that summoning symbol that they have in the middle of it, because it's a lot of symbolism in the show and they don't really mention it. But if you in the know, you in the know. But yeah, I was tying on how he sees them say, he sees overall this truth of what's going on behind the scenes, because the Xerxes, they don't have that much emotions going on. You would, in some sense, you would say like they have this reptilian vibe about them. They have this reptilian vibe about them, where I will put together that they not run off of emotions that care for other people, not even for themselves. Really, they do care about themselves, but they only care that they live forever, so that in the eyes of the Grifflins and everyone else that lives on Thra, they will be seen as the eternal gods, the eternal godheads. And that's why they was siphoning all this energy from the crystal in order to keep them alive. The crystal is supposed to be keeping the planet together, keeping the planet inspired and alive. But they cracked it, and they got into this thing called the darkening. And it was just right for them. It was just right for them. And I like how they had a bureaucracy. It seemed like they had a government about them, the Xerxes. Like they had the scientists, they had the commander, the military head, and the I don't know the way I could put it is the chief on relations, like relating to other people. What a chief advisor, and I loved how they showed him, because he was having those thoughts that you hear a lot of people talk about on earth, like in this earth. There's just a tie, something I got out of it, because he was saying like, well, we don't want them to see stuff like this, or we have to make sure we maintain this look, we had to make sure we show this power. And it was all for it was wild, because they was all selfish, but all the the selfishness, they all knew how selfish they were, so they ganged together. Clicks collide. Here goes some more pictures. But yeah, he Rain finds out this truth, and he's excommunicated, because they, after a while, the crystal wasn't giving them enough power, so they want to sacrifice Grifflins in order to get more, in order to stay immortal. So he saw this and tried to tell his people, and they didn't want to believe anything that he was saying. A lot of spoilers. They didn't want to believe anything he was saying, because of how they view the Xerxes. They viewed them as lords. They've been giving them all of this stuff all this time and allowing them to live. So it's embedded in their brain. It's embedded in their culture that it's heresy to speak against the Xerxes, even though he's seen what he saw. And it was this awesome thing called dreamscaping, where they was able to touch hands and go into each other's astral world, into each other's astral plane, and see a memory. So like, yo, I can't lie to you, because not my words. Like, it passed the thoughts, the ego thing that wants to formulate words and thoughts and patterns based off of patterns and habits, and just get the pure picture as it was, through just touching hands and exchanging energy, or just tapping into the Akashic record, however you want to put it, into the imagination, to past imaginations. But yes, that's how it happened. But they didn't want to do that, because they saw them as a heretic. And the Xerxes even put in their mind that if you even try to dreamscape with this person, tap into this person's vision, see what this person is really trying to talk about, like pad beyond the words, like see what he's trying to talk about, not talk but see, then y'all minds are going to get infected, because he's infected. So they believed it. So he went back to his town to tell them all this news, and he had to be on the run. He had to go on the run and run. Y'all know how the story goes: run across strangers and things, and the journey keeps going. But this just reminds me too of the psychedelic journey, where you come across a truth. You come across a truth, an instance that is not really explainable in the outside, in the world, that hasn't really occurred ever in the world, but it's related to it. And you go out and try to tell these stories, but it's like, whoa, what about the Bible? What about the Quran? What about the Mormon in religion? Like, the religion stops people from going farther. Or even if they're not in religion, their internal religion, their internal pope tells them not to even go into that, because this is it. Like, everything that's here is it. If you're not into religion, God and stuff, you think that everything, some people think that everything that's here is it. So for you, for a psychedelic experience, and for somebody to try to talk to you about it, it could become off as very as like a heretic, as evil, as demonic, whatever religion, however your religion paints the picture of the devil. And that's what I love about what they was displaying in Dark Crystal, this aspect of being excommunicated for something that you witnessed, that you just experienced, not something that you made up, but something that you experienced. And probably he couldn't explain the mechanisms of how the crystal was working and all of the stuff and the machines and all that. He just knew what he saw. He knew what he saw, and that was it. That was all he needed. So so we get to, I don't want to tell about the whole season. I'm trying to stick to the lesson, some of the things that stuck out to me. Lesson or not lesson. Oh yes, I liked how they showed in how the Xerxes were actually won in the past. The Xerxes were actually won in the past, and that's why I could see they was acting so one dimensional. It was these other, they split when they came down the planet somehow. They probably explained in season two, but they split, and the wise they split into like the monk side. You know how monks, you know the picture of a so-called monk, and the dramatic American sides. The reptilian side, and the other ones, they always knew that they needed to reconnect back. The monk ones, they always knew that in order for everything to be reconciled, they need to come back. But the other Xerxes was like, nah, we gonna keep doing our thing. We got our own thoughts. We exist as ourselves. We are completely real on our own being. When they, it's like they forgot the ultimate truth of who they were, and now they're just working on this mechanism in order to stay alive here as long as possible. I remember them having a conversation, the Xerxes saying that where they come from was like very tormented, a tormented place, and they wanted to live here as long as possible because they didn't know what awaited them afterwards. So they wanted to stay here as long as possible, just because they didn't know what was going to happen, and they feared that it was going to be something bad based off the state of minds that they always in. But when they hear, it's all good because they're ruling. Puppet strings. Well, yep. And they get into and I like the heroes. You know how the hero in this reign, he eventually travels to all the different clans through just running away and trying to get back to the castle and getting chased away again. He run across the different inhabitants of Thrall, and he communicates with them, makes friends, and they all have their own view on things. And yeah, they all, well, to get another thought coming ahead. Bura and her three sisters. That was an awesome trifecta too that I got out of the story. Was Bura was the princess that was real inquisitive. She had a lot of questions. She was set up the rule. She was set up the rule, but she kept wanting to do other things that when she was curious about it caused her reign to be questioned, her future reign to be questioned. So this is what her other sister took advantage of because she didn't have all these other extra dimension, extraterrestrial questions. She was like, I want to rule here. Everything is fine now. You're messing stuff up. Gonna being all curious with all these ideas and things. We cannot accept the Xerxes. We have to do things. You're messing it up for everybody. And the thing is, everybody was right. All two sisters so far was right, and the third sister was like the combination of two. She just was like kind of, they would say, kind of more on the tough side. They made her like a soldier type, but she still was able to feel for both sisters. She still had both vibes, so she was like the middle pillar for both extremes. And the way it was playing out with the sisters, the way it was playing out with the sisters is how I see it play out in this command. I mean, in this dimension of Earth, people are really living, um, thinking that they're doing what they're supposed to do, what they were bred to do. Like, I was bred to praise God. I was bred to do this and praise God in this way. And this is how it's always been done. This is tradition. This is how we survived this far. Why are you trying to muck it up now? Why? Why? But it's not. I believe it's not until you start experiencing other things, other like glitches and thoughts from the beyond, and focusing on things with the third eye, that these kind of experiences start coming to you. Like, just this the never ending story. I know how I tie on this. What's happening within is happening without, as above, so below, all that just jazz. But Rain was a cool character. Rain was a cool character. And I think I'm gonna send it off right there because I don't want to ruin too much. But I'm gonna keep showing y'all some pictures. That was Rain's dad, right there. Oh wow, we can see in this picture how they created the puppets. You see in this one right here? That's dope. That's dope. Let's see that. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see what's up here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. Because I don't want to ruin the whole story for anyone that wishes to watch. But thank you for watching the Just High Now show, guys. Thank y'all for watching and listening to me tie, combining my mind with my heart, connecting those two circles, and let whatever come out just come on out. I hope that you tie when you get the time, or tie always. We all tie, but do we really tie? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. If you enjoyed this talk, press the like button. So just push it, man. If you feel like it, subscribe and check out the Just Tie Now store. Come and explore original shirt designs, original art. I'm gonna make a ecstasy account to put the art and stuff on as well. But appreciate you guys for just coming and being alive. Adios, adios.